Okay, good morning, everyone. So the 28th of April right now, we are on Thursday, leading up to the Bank of Japan um, news release. Right now, it's still a tentative time, not released yet. So for it being a Thursday, we are looking at the dollar index, the US yen, the pound yen, the euro yen, and also gold. So this is recorded live for Traders Club members. If you are watching us on YouTube, then make sure you check out the links below to jump onto the club platform, right? So with that said, all the focus on that, let's check out the, first of all, disclaimer. Any information shared in this video is not intended to be a trade recommendation. It is solely the opinion and views of myself. So please remember to do your own analysis prior to entering any trades. So straight into it, look at the news. Some things that I want to tell you about shortly after checking out the news, but what we are waiting for right now is this news event. It's still tentative. Just do a quick refresh. It's still tentative now, the Bank of Japan outlook report. We are waiting for that. Is the Bank of Japan going to further take action to further weaken the yen? Right at this point, I don't think they're going to do anything. I think they're probably going to wait it out, but there might be some indication that they're going to weaken the yen. What we actually have seen is the US yen pushing higher overnight. Main thing is it going to get to 130? Is it going to get to 135 before we see some level of intervention coming from the Bank of Japan? So we'll pay attention to that monetary policy statement. The main thing is, the Bank of Japan policy rate is not going to change. It's going to stay at minus 0.1%. The outlook report is going to tell you about what they think is happening or what they feel is happening with the Japanese economy. Look at the monetary policy statement, right? When that comes out in a couple of minutes, hopefully. Where is it? So this was the previous one. What you'll notice is that if you look through it, it's going to look very similar. At this point, we're looking to see this line, whether they will purchase JGBs. Now, the previous one, they said without setting any upper limits, right? We're going to see whether they're going to increase that, whether they're going to state a number, or how much they're going to start buying at. The last time they were talking about ETFs was 12 trillion yen and 180 billion yen respectively at the upper limit. Are they going to change that? So those are the numbers that you're going to pay attention to. Sometimes what happens is that before you can even read this report, and it's quite a short one, right? It's only 3 pages long, 4 pages long. Before you can even go through that, you notice that the yen, the US yen, is already scaling up towards the upside. So straight away, you can check out the news, check out the numbers there. Just zoom in on the numbers before jumping onto a trade. At this point, I don't think they will state any big change in the numbers. Might disappoint the yen a little bit, but we still see further upside on the yen. I'll show you that on the charts shortly. With that, tonight at 8:30, we do have the US advanced GDP number quarter on quarter. Again, was 6.9%, expected to drop to a 1.1 quarter on quarter. I think this might be one of the other reasons or triggers towards a slight retracement in the dollar index, right? So if I show you the dollar index here, just last night, I thought I was trading and I thought this might be the trigger towards pushing lower, but it hasn't done that yet. It's come back up. Dollar index right now didn't consolidate, so I'll take that away. It's actually, since yesterday, broke above that 102 level and straight towards the 103. I saw it test. I was looking at it on the H1 time frame. I saw it test and reject. So I was looking for that further rejection. Didn't happen. Later into the session, it came back up towards the 103 level. So I'm looking at this tonight. It might sit there for now, but tonight we might see it break lower or reject that 103 level if we do see GDP take a relatively big hit, as the data suggests. Further up from 103, where can we see it go? Go towards the round numbers. 104 will be the next level that the dollar index could head towards. But I've been saying this for so many sessions already, thinking that the dollar index cannot keep climbing up. I've been saying that it cannot go up in a straight line. What it has been doing is been moving up towards levels, from round number levels, pretty much in a straight line fashion. So I think what we're going to see is, if it does break above 103 strongly, we're going to see that push. But I think it all depends on the numbers for tonight. So just be a little bit cautious with the dollar. Overall, we're still looking at dollar strength. You can see it pushing higher now. I think the news just came out. Did it just come out? Hang on, just let me check that. No. I see the US yen pushing higher, but it seems like the news is not out yet. Okay, so dollar is pushing a little bit higher at this point. If it does go up above 103, then we can see that continuation towards the upside. But I'm paying a bit more attention to the news tonight with the advanced GDP coming from the US. Again, Traders Club members, remember tonight we do have our session at 8 p.m. So we'll be able to look through this news together as it happens. So with the dollar pushing higher, looking like it's pushing higher now, what can we look out for on the yen pairs? It's a bit odd to see the dollar moving. Okay, news still not out yet. But US yen here on the H4 time frame is pushing higher. It's pushing higher. I think this is leading up to the news pushing above. What I'll be looking for is, let me put that line there first, at 130 and 135, just based on what the Bank of Japan has put in as levels. So what you could be looking out for here is the US yen to push higher. I keep thinking that the news is out. It's not out yet. All right, for the US yen to push higher, just because of that momentum and the expectation that the Bank of Japan is going to be a little bit more dovish rather than hawkish, pushing it up, and with the dollar pushing higher as well. What you could be looking for here, short-term trades, almost immediate, is a long position just above the high from the 20th of April. You can be looking at about 129.32, and then your take profit at about 60 pips towards the 130 level. Stop loss, you can put it at 30 pips. So about there, 30 pips, a 1:2 risk reward ratio towards the upside for the US yen as it breaks higher. Then the next trade is whether it breaks above 130. I would avoid trading the US yen towards 135 on the H4 time frame. I think what you can do is look towards the US yen as short-term trades. So you could have multiple trade ideas here. If it breaks above 130, say about 130.40, you could have a tight stop loss just below that level of about 50-60 pips. Take profit at 101.32. It's a 160 pip move towards the upside. A 1:2, almost 1:3 risk reward ratio towards the upside for the US yen. This is given that it goes up above that 130 level, breaks above, and closes. So we're looking at further upside on the US yen. I'm pretty sure the news is out, right? The news is out just a minute ago. So looking at the monetary policy report, it's not out yet. Just check that out. So looking at that, just came out. They will purchase without setting upper limit, will offer a 10-year bond at 0.25% compared to the previous. Did they say that? So we're looking at further US yen upside now. So this is offer 10-year bonds at 0%. And right now they have come out to offer it at 0.25%. So pushing towards the 10-year bonds, bringing down that weakening the yen a little bit more. So that's one thing to pay attention to. And then 12 trillion and 180 billion is the same, with 2 and 3 trillion the same as well. So the main difference here is that they are offering a 10-year bond at 0.25% at this level every business day through a fixed rate with no upper limits, right? So massive weakening in the yen at this point. If you are jumping into that trade, you'll be in the money already. We are looking for the yen to move towards that 130 level. With this news, I do think it'll get to 130 and possibly break above as well. So watch out for this trade. I think this will be the focus. This should be the focus for you for today, US yen towards the upside. With that said about the US yen, look at the euro yen as well, bouncing off that 134, 135 level, pushing higher. A little bit late into this trade right now, so I wouldn't rush in, or I wouldn't try and jump into this trade right now. I would say be a little bit more patient, wait for it to break above this 137 level, then look to buy, because we are looking at yen pushing higher. I know I'm rambling very quickly just because the news is happening, but look for it to break above 137 again. In this case, a very tight stop because it's breaking that level, about 30 to 40 pips towards a stop loss. A take profit, you could put it at almost 180 level, but I would say that anywhere in between, you could look to close out that trade. So a big 1:5 risk reward ratio towards the upside, but I wouldn't be greedy with such a news, because with the euro yen, especially as we see the yen push higher, bear in mind the euro dollar as well is still tracking down. So that's possibly going to give a little bit of a counter move towards the euro yen. So just be careful. I think that it will push higher. I don't think it will get towards the 139 level. I think that even at a 1:2 risk reward ratio towards the upside would be a very good and reasonable trade for the euro yen. Then the pound yen, also similar move, has pushed above that 160 level. These were all the levels that I've been telling you guys about on TradingView in the club as well. Look for that potential reversal. Right now, again, too late to enter at this point. I would say look for it to move higher, possibly break towards that 163.88 level before looking towards the upside, or look into the smaller time frame. So look into the H1 time frame before looking to buy towards the upside. You could be looking at a trade like that. So 130 pips towards the upside, stop loss. I would normally say at about 100. So you're looking at a 1:1 risk reward ratio. I don't want to put it right in the middle, just because that I think it might trigger and fluctuate back. So if you keep your stop loss quite tight, especially on the pound yen, very likely to get stopped out before pushing higher again. So just be a bit careful there. If you're not ready to take on that kind of risk of 100 pips, then possibly not look at the pound yen, look at the US yen that's already in the money, or the euro yen. But I think the US yen would be the safest bet, or almost the most straightforward bet at this point. So with that said, I'm rushing to go jump into my trades. Gold, looking at gold at this point right now, gold is approaching that the 1880 level, or it's touched the 1880 level at 1878. The last time I spoke about gold on my TradingView analysis there, I was looking for price to break below 1900 for it to move towards 1880. So this was on the 26th. So 2 days ago, it's happened already. It's moved down. It's broken below 1900 and moved towards 1880. I'm thinking that there might be further downside for gold, especially looking at how the yen and the dollar is moving. So what you could be looking for is further downside on gold towards that 1850 level. So if you're trading gold on the shorter term, you could be looking at a stop loss at about 1885, a take profit at about 1850 or 1852, a 1:1.8, almost 1:2 risk reward ratio towards the downside for gold on the H4 time frame. But I think that as much as gold is dropping, that's an attractive trade there. The most straightforward one is still US yen towards the upside because of this line here, 10-year at 0.25% compared to what they were saying at 10 years at 0%. So big news we've had today for the yen coming from the Bank of Japan. A lot of trade opportunities. Just be careful now. A big move might retrace back down a little bit, but I think that we're going to see a lot of trading opportunities, especially on the yen pairs. With that said, trade well, trade safe. Club members, I will be possibly quite active today, especially with the yen moving this way. But we'll see you tonight for the live trading, for the trading session tonight as well. With that said, see you. Take care. Bye-bye now.